Hi, folks. Welcome to Mobility Matters. I'm your host, Javier Betancourt. My day job is Executive Director of the Citizens Independent Transportation Trust, or CITT, the logo you see here behind me. The CITT is an agency of Miami-Dade County charged with overseeing the half-penny sales tax for transportation and the implementation of the People's Transportation Plan. With me today is a wonderful guest who I've known for many years, Carlos Cruz-Casas, with Miami-Dade County's Department of Transportation and Public Works, or DTPW. Carlos is the Chief Innovation Officer for DTPW, and he'll tell us all about what that means in a minute. But Carlos, thank you for being here. Thanks for being a guest.
Thank you, Javier. I think this is great. I'm thrilled to be here. I've been watching your show for the last couple months, and I felt that people were feeling very comfortable with it. So I didn't know if it was, the conversation with you or the environment. Let me tell you, this chair is kind of comfortable too.
Right. Let's take it home with us. I think they could use a new set anyway. And it's a surplus, right?
Yes.
So, Carlos, tell the viewers a little bit about yourself, both professionally, your personal background.
Excellent. So, I'm a professional engineer, a civil engineer. Started in Puerto Rico, University of Puerto Rico, when I was doing 2 degrees, civil engineer and land survey. My first job, this is kind of crazy, but my first job was working with transportation and master's degree students to help them with some of their work. And it was when the video cameras were coming for the first time for traffic detection.
Wow.
Mind you, I'm afraid of heights. My job was getting in the University of Puerto Rico some of the signals around on a bucket truck to mount a camera and basically help the students.
Gosh.
So all of a sudden I started...
Good, you faced your fear, which is always important.
I faced my fear, right? Imagine just tiny little bolts at 17 feet high in a little bucket truck that was shaking. But the point is, I started kind of realizing that we can do a lot more than just civil engineering. We can actually help people and understand how they move and basically support their access to opportunities. So I continued to work, and a great professor back there, Benjamin Colucci, that told me one time, he said, "Carlos, you've been helping me a lot. I would love to ask a favor from you." And I said, "For you, whatever you need." And he said, "You're the first one that says yes after 5 people I ask, right? I need you to go to Savannah, Georgia this weekend," and mind you, it was Wednesday, "and just do a presentation on how the Technology Transfer Institute was actually helping developing the workforce of transportation."
Okay.
And I was like, first presentation in English, all crazy about transportation. I said, "Sure,
why not?
For you, I'll do it."
Hey, Savannah's a lovely town.
Savannah's a lovely town. And he said, "You're the first person, and you say yes with no hesitation. What do you need?" And I was like, "I want to continue my education. I want to do a master's in transportation." I applied to Urbana-Champaign, Texas A&M, and Georgia Tech. All of them had accepted me so far, but I just don't have any funding to continue.
Okay.
I would love to go to University of Florida. I think they have a strong technical program. And he said, "Done. You go with me to the presentation. On the way back, I'll not only buy you the ticket to go to Jacksonville, rent your car in a hotel for 2 nights, and the rest is on you."
That's great.
So I imagine quickly start communicating with University of Florida. Great team over there. And I said, "I really want to come and visit you and have a conversation."
Wow.
So I think that drive kind of helped me kind of get to where I am today. The fact that I was there the Tuesday after I call, have a meeting with them, and I talked to Dr. Leferiado, which is a phenomenal teacher, professor, and leader in the industry, and said, "I really want to work here. The application of transportation solutions is very technical. It's not theoretical." And they were doing great things. All of a sudden, great conversation, and I said, I'm here. I want to be here. I want to work with you guys. Unfortunately, I don't have any funding. My parents paid everything they could pay.
We're still having those conversations. Hey, we want to build this, but we don't have any funding, right? So it seems to be a common denominator.
Yeah. And then that drive really kind of helped me because it was Tuesday. On Saturday, I got a letter signed Wednesday that was accepted, full tuition waiver and a stipend to work with them.
Great.
So that to me is kind of what led to where I am. All of a sudden, I started doing transportation masters, went to consultant, went to the city of Miami as a chief transportation manager, and now at the county joining as assistant director, where as I continue to go through, my drive has been to find ways to improve the system. And that's what I define about innovation. Innovation gets described a lot of times about technology, and it's not about technology. It's about addressing the problems that we have with a different aspect, different approach. And suddenly, start introducing great mobility solutions to our community just by thinking differently. So now this is where I am really thrilled to be actually with you here. We have a long story, right? A history working together.
Yeah. So for those who don't know, I mean, you and I started off, let's see, I was at the Downtown Development Authority
Yes.
at the time. You were with Kimley Horn. I think I was the manager of urban planning and you were some kind of associate. And
I was a very entry-level engineer.
Yeah. We hired you guys to do our downtown Miami bicycle pedestrian master plan, right?
Yeah.
Something that's very near and dear to both of our hearts. And you ran with that. And I think it was one of the better products that I'd seen come out of the DDA. And ironically, all these years later, you're now implementing or have implemented parts of that master plan at DTPW, right? And we could talk about the downtown micromobility network in a minute. But I do want to touch on a couple things you've said that I really haven't discussed on the show before. And that's it. It's important to have a mentor, right? And you were very lucky to have a mentor in Puerto Rico, and it sounds like at the University of Florida. And the drive, right? And that's something I've always seen in you is you have this drive about you. You're not satisfied with being where you are and or taking no for an answer, right?
You remember those days, right?
You're driven and ambitious, and it's done well by you. I mean, here we are, both of us, I think, in a good place. And so I admire that about you, and congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you. And again, not, I think is part of who I am, but at the same time, I was always kind of mentor to say that you always need to position yourself to what's next. You always need to kind of look at that. And early on in my career, after I did a master's in transportation and urban planning for transportation, I started as a consultant and doing some work, right? You remember that at Kimley Horn. And my trick was identifying people that I saw that were on the rise.
Right.
So there were a couple other friends. And my goal was to invite you for lunch and have a conversation, right? I always thought that just kind of go and just invite you to a meeting and just have a conversation about potential growth. And
Sure.
to me, it was not about a job. It's about what are you doing to be so successful in your career? It was something that I need to learn, right? And by asking for lunch, I at least have secured 40 minutes.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's a component that we.
And you get to know people on a personal level, which I think is important, right?
Exactly. I was going to get to it.
Yeah.
It's something that get lost in here. The work that we do is as much as technical as it is about people conversation, right? Getting to know you, getting the way
Right.
that you manage and operate, what drives you. All those components can help us have a better professional and a relation, right? So, I think it was great. And that master plan, I remember it took a lot of hours out of our days, at least for me, kind of working through. But that's, you don't know this, but that particular product that we did is the reason that I jumped to public sector.
Okay.
Yeah, because I saw that we had a great bike ped mobility plan for downtown Miami. 39 projects. It was listed that every single page, it was a project that could be executed.
That's right. We had a lot of needs, and still do.
Exactly. We're limited to 39. There was more than that. But something achievable. Less than 40. I think that's good.
Sure.
And I just noticed that we needed a champion in the public sector to continue through. Consultants can do so much. Great document. After that, what happens?
Absolutely.
So I had the opportunity to join the city of Miami as a chief transportation manager there. And I took it because I said, the city have already all these great plans. We need to execute. So I was able to not only plan for it, the festival streets in Flagler Street, remember?
Yeah.
All the pedestrian crossing distance.
Pedestrian priority zone.
Pedestrian priority zone, the first one in the county, right? It was born out of that conversation. Right. Actually, finally, the city built a crosswalk on Brickell Metro Mover Station.
Something as simple as a crosswalk was so difficult to achieve, unfortunately.
But it's in that plan. It's identifying that needs to be built, right?
Yeah.
So I really took the opportunity, and then I planned for it. The city helped support the grant funding request and really driving the conversation in terms of the design of it. And then in some instances right now, the county implementing, right? So it is a full circle, and I think it's a great opportunity to see how things go through. Hopefully it would have been shorter than 10 years, but we've seen at least there's some process and progress there.
Yeah, so we touched on it briefly. And so before we talk about on-demand transportation, which is really the focus of the show, tell us about the Downtown Micromobility Network, because that was one of your accomplishments in your previous role with the department.
Certainly. So I'm a firm believer that we need to build a city that we want to live in, right? And we're seeing a lot of growth in Miami-Dade County. A lot of people come into our community. And in order to accommodate that, to me, is another option to accommodate them in transit, walking, and biking. That's what basically helped the community move. And in downtown Miami, we have great activity in bicycling, but it fell a little short the fact that people didn't feel safe. And this didn't feel safe because it was not the space, right? It's not that the cars are flying 45 miles an hour in downtown Miami. It was that
It's the mixed traffic.
the mixed traffic, the weaving into parking lanes and travel lanes, right? All that kind of create a very unsafe environment. So what we did is, if we want to continue to build this team, this group of people, this energy that Miami has, and put it on two wheels, we need to give them not only a space, but a separated and protected space with a buffer that the level of comfort basically elevates. So we took a lot of effort to work with traffic engineers and everyone in the conversation to say, we're going to take a travel lane away, and we're going to turn it into a bike lane with a buffer and elements in that buffer that can help them be safe. And that's what we did. We took Miami Avenue from South 1st to 11th Street, East 1st Avenue, the same from South to 1st Street, and 5th and 6th Street from 2nd to 2nd. And just this the beginning. And it's been some of those recommended projects being in the TPO and the City of Miami Master Plan for years.
In our downtown master plan.
In the downtown master plan. And we finally were able to do it because we were intentional enough that in order to accommodate this, we cannot wait for just things to take it.
Just got to do it.
You got to do it.
You got to do it.
You got to do it. And I'm thrilled to say is the beginning. You know, it's still a small network that needs to grow. But it has created a different vibe and environment for our community. One of the things that I like the most is a tweet that I seen from Bike Safe Miami, where they actually been highlighting this family that takes picture of their kid going to school on a bike.
Wow.
On those bike lanes.
Wow.
Right. So that tells you a lot.
That tells you a lot.
9-year-old kid being able to ride the bicycle on a bike lane in downtown Miami tells you a lot. And that's what we need to build for, right? So to me, it is a great opportunity for us to build that. But it doesn't come without hiccups, right?
Sure.
So one of the things now that we had is, you know, all this new gig economy, deliveries, food deliveries, people delivery, is used to be on the curb, blocking the bike lane, creating that safe component for bike lanes. So, but now they don't have a space to go, right? So now we need to start working with the local community there and say how we can actually help you get your deliveries on time.
Right.
And if you ask me, if we have a good network that people can bike very, very safely and quick, why don't we use that for deliveries? So more on that. Definitely.
And you see a lot of that in other major cities and certainly in Europe, right? Deliveries by bike.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I wanted to highlight that just because I think it was a major accomplishment. It may not seem like a huge project. It's not, you know, a smart plan corridor, but it's so difficult to do because many of us are trying to do that throughout the county, and there's so much pushback, there's so much resistance, because in general, the public doesn't want to lose a lane or parking, and there's still some pushback even in downtown about that, but you managed to do it, and I think it was an amazing accomplishment, so congratulations and kudos, and thank you.
Yeah.
So
full team effort, by the way.
Yeah, of course. No, I understand
not
that.
only me, just kind of
listen, you had many meetings, you know, with many different agencies. I was in many of those, so absolutely. But I'm going to give credit where credit was due. You took the lead and you made it happen, so thank you. Let's pivot now to some of what you do currently as Chief Innovation Officer, and let's talk specifically about on-demand transit. You have launched a program called Go Connect at the county. Tell us about that.
Certainly. So this conversation began about 2015, 2016, right? Back then, I remember, but there was the arrival of on-demand transportation with Ubers and Lyft in downtown Miami and in general in all Miami-Dade County, and really coming into not an argument, but basically coming in and something very new. And I remember back then there was a lot of conversation, not only in Miami-Dade County, but throughout the nation, about it's taking away from transit. It's a competitor. And we had, I was fortunate enough to be working with the Transportation for America as a nonprofit organization that put together a group of cities from around the nation on the Smart Cities Collaborative. And I was able to sit on the table with Los Angeles, with New York, with Philadelphia, with, you know, Macon, Ohio, but different places. They were having the same conversation and the same issues. And we sat down and we said, you know what, instead of identifying that there is a obstacle or creating a taking away from transit, let's learn from that. And what we learn is people value their time, right? People value kind of this kind of on-demand service to it. And they were sometimes willing to pay more for that. So
time and convenience, right?
Time and convenience, right? So what we decided is, how can we adapt the same technology to transit? That's the question. People value that. They're using it. Came with no preparation, no planning for it, and the adoption was widely spread. So how we can take the same approach to transit, right? Because in transit, you're
what does it say? If you can't beat them, join them, right?
Join them, right? Join them. So in transit, basically, the service is running on their schedule, not your schedule, right?
Right.
And then you need to move yourself to the bus stop, right, or the train station in order to access that, right? And that works. And let me tell you, there's no substitute for a well-run transit system when you have a lot of people moving in the same direction at the same time.
Sure.
When it's frequent. But in areas there is, not have the density, that the fixed route service, that we call the bus service, will run every 40 minutes, every 60 minutes.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, the customer experience kind of goes away, right? All of a sudden, this thing. We need to work towards that. So the approach was, how about we then adapt the technology and put it on the transit system, where you tell us where you are and where you need to go, right? And then we'll take a small vehicle. It will be great. It would be crazy to have a 40-foot bus basically meandering through neighborhoods.
Yeah, you can't justify that expense. Yeah.
It can't justify that. And basically bring you transportation on demand, right? On-demand transit component that can pull people in the same vehicle and go on at the same time. In order to make it viable, we need to create a geofence area, right? This is not something that can be just your on-demand full Miami-Dade County, right?
And geofencing, for those who may not understand, is you basically draw a line around the area you want to serve, and then you serve the area within there flexibly, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
When you compare to fixed route, basically your geofence of the fixed route service is the route alignment within a buffer or the walkable distance that you're willing to do, right? That's your space of service. On demand, we don't have a fixed route, we just have an area, and within that area, we looked at providing good service there. The first one that we planned, and this was pre-COVID when things were different, right?
Different world.
Different world altogether. I don't know if you know, but on the Metro Rail system, Dayland South, which is our southern end of the Metro Rail system, and Dayland North, there were about half a mile between. They combined used to carry more than 20% of our total ridership. And they used
on Metro.
On Metro Rail, right? And they have almost 3,200 parking spaces between the two stations. And you've been to some of those garages.
Yeah.
11 stories high.
Yeah.
Right. They will get full by 8 in the morning.
Yep.
So all of a sudden, to me, we were limiting access to transit, right? And for people in the service industry, if you think about it, that they start their job at 10, 11 in the morning, we're forcing them to drive. Basically, yeah. Right? Because they couldn't access the train station. We looked at the numbers, and we had over 500 registered, 500 monthly transit users that were registered to park at those stations within a mile or two. Okay. And then all of a sudden we had, if we then give them another option for that area, we can free up 500 parking spots. And someone that really needs it.
For someone who really needs it, maybe from further away, yeah.
Or further away.
Yeah.
So that was the intent of building this.
Okay.
Right? But things have changed. Parking garages are not filling as as quickly as there used to be before. However, we saw that there is a need to still provide the service. And I think you moderated a great panel at a conference this week. Yeah. It's called Revolution, right? Where
it was called Revolution.
It was called
Switch
Revolution.
Names on us. Now it's called Impact.
Impact.
Okay.
Yes.
Give them a shout out.
No, they're doing a great job. But in that conversation, I think it was great that it was about whether it's the first mile, the last mile, or the only mile. Our job as a transportation provider, right, for this community is to help you get that.
Get that, right.
In the first mile, that means that your access from where you are to the train or the bus facility, right? That first can be a mile, can be 3 miles. It doesn't matter. It's just that term. And we saw that there was critical for us to maintain on-demand transit as an option for people to be able to move around, get access to, and make sure that they have also access to other trips.
So tell us more about the service itself. What's
Yeah.
it called? Who's it with? And who does
Yeah.
it serve? What areas are you serving?
So we call it Go Connect. Is our way to connect transit riders to opportunities, connect transit riders to transit systems like the Metro Rail station. We have currently 4 areas. This Dayland South, Dayland North area covers portion of South Miami. Is one of the areas that we have. We partnered with the town of Culver Bay, in which the Culver Bay is basically running their on-demand transit service with our same program, Go Connect.
And in Cutler Bay, they're using the half-penny funds to help subsidize that, right? They're half-penny funds, and it's fare-free.
And it's for free.
In Cutler Bay.
In
Okay.
Culver Bay.
Yeah.
For all the other areas that we run, it's the same cost as a bus.
Okay.
So we have the Dayland South, Dayland North area is one. In West Kendall is another area that includes the West Kendall Baptist
Okay.
Hospital and some of the areas there, and one the Civic Center.
And operating hours?
Operating hours, if it changes, it depends on the area. Typically, it's from I think it's 7 to 7 at night, so it's 8
Okay.
at night. We have expanded to weekends on the downtown Dayland area, and again, we continue to learn and kind of see
Right.
that. The way it operates is an app base or a phone. You create an account, and basically typical to your Uber or Lyft or the new e-hail component for taxis, the same way. But basically, you held it
Yeah.
through that. We partner with a company. It's called Via. They're a very global company. They have deployed over 150, 160 cities across the world, and this is what they do in terms of that technology provision to it. At the moment, it's a full turnkey solution that we have, where they provide the vehicle, the operator, the technology, and the support that we need to kind of go through.
And unfortunately, we've run out of time, and I'd love to have you back to continue talking about this and everything else you do, because we could spend hours talking, Carlos, and we have actually. So, just one last thing: where can people find out more information about Go Connect?
Yes, so you can go to our Miami-Dade County website and goconnect.miamidade.gov. Find more information about Go Connect. You can download the application, the Go Connect application. And I would love for you to try it and give us feedback on to tell us, understand not only how you use the system today, right? Because we're getting a lot of feedback already from I take it, I go in, and it's a great experience. You're blowing my cover here, because when I go in, the drivers say, "Hey, welcome, Carlos." It's not they know me. The application says, "I'm Mike Carlos." The same experience, very.
And I'm sure they're watching this program.
Now it blow my cover.
You're done.
But to me, I want to know. Again, we want to know as a providers of this, how it's working for you. Where is it taking you?
Right.
How is it actually improving service? And also, if this is not in your area, I want to know that too.
Yeah.
There's a lot of potential for us to grow.
Well, there's going to be a lot of demand for this, I'm sure, once people find out about it.
Yeah, so let's work together towards developing
Absolutely.
the future of Miami-Dade County.
I have to admit, I have not used it yet, but I am going to soon, because I think it's a great service, and I want to enjoy it.
It is a great service.
Great.
All right.
Well, listen, Carlos, thank you for being a guest on the show. Thank you for everything you do. Thank you for being a friend.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Right, folks. Once again, this is Mobility Matters. Please join us in future programs. I also want to thank community newspapers that have been an amazing partner in helping us produce this show.